I'm Jennifer Johnson and welcome to my Excel tip of the week. Today we're going to focus on the lookup function within Excel. However, before we do that, let's review some of the most common lookup functions that are available. Lookup is a function that you would use when you need to look in a single row or column and find a value from that same position in a second row or column. And that's the example we're going to walk through today. In future examples, we will look at Vlookup, Hlookup, and the newest feature within Excel called Xlookup. Now, Vlookup and Hlookup are very similar. Vlookup is a vertical look, H is a horizontal look. So Vlookup goes through Excel and finds things in a table or a range by row. The search is performed vertically down a column of data, and then it returns a second piece of data within the row that it is located. Hlookup is very similar, except it searches across a row horizontally instead of up and down a column, and then returns a value in the matched column. So we'll show examples of those in future tips of the week. And then finally, there is a new feature called Xlookup, which is the best of all of these. However, it's only available to certain users within Office 365. Microsoft is rolling that out periodically over time. Eventually, hopefully, all users of Office 365 will get it. Now, let's take a look at the lookup feature. Here in Excel, I have a list of salespeople and the amount of sales each person has generated for the first quarter. Every employee, if they've sold at least a penny, is entitled to some commission. So you can see, for example, that Maria sold $987 during the first quarter. Well, Maria would be entitled to a 3% commission. Now, I have lots of employees and I don't want to manually go through this commission table for every employee. I'm going to use the lookup function to help me do that. The lookup function is a formula in Excel and it has three arguments. The first argument is the lookup value. So this is the number or the value that we have that we want to match to something. So in our case, that would be Maria's $987. The lookup vector is the commission table we're going to search through. Now, I've created a new lookup table, and I'll explain that in a second. But we're going to search through this commission table to find where $987 falls. Next, we're going to take the result vector and return my results. So that's how we're going to utilize this lookup table. Now, there's an important feature when we have a lookup table. It has to be in reverse order. So we have to reverse the dollar values that we're going to search through. It's just a unique feature of the lookup function. It has to be in lowest to greatest order. So I've done that with my commissions, right? If somebody earns at a minimum 1 cent, they'll get a 0.5% commission. However, if somebody makes $1,000 or more in sales, they'll get a 5% commission. So let's take a look at that for Maria and set up the formula. I start my formula with an equal sign, and I'll type the word lookup. I'll open my parentheses and insert the first argument, which is my lookup value. So I'll link to cell C2, which is the $987. Insert a comma to indicate my second value of my formula. The second value of the formula is the lookup vector. Where do I go search? So I want to search for the dollar value here in my dollars sold, in my lookup table. So that is cells H10 through H16. Remember, this table, this lookup vector, has to be in reverse order. For the third and final argument, then, I need to tell Excel what value do I return. I'll insert a comma, and then my value is located here in the commission rates. So again, I'll select the entire set of data from I10 to I14, I apologize. So I've identified my commission rates. So now I'm going to close my parentheses and hit enter on my formula. You'll notice that it returned a value of 0.03. Because it's not formatted as a percentage, that's why we see the 0.03. I can change the formatting by selecting percent on my Home tab. So let's see, $987 fits between $700 and $999, and I get 3% of my commission. Now the easiest thing to do is just to copy this value down, right? Let's do that. I'm just going to drag that down all the way through my list. Oh man, I have a problem, don't I? Hashtag NA or pound NA is not the result I want. The reason for that is when I copy my formula down in Excel, Excel advances my references. So for every row, it's going to continue to advance my formula by 1. So what I need to do then is lock my references. So for example, let me come over here to Canvas. And if I hit F2 on Canvas, you can see that my lookup table has moved down because Canvas is down further in my list of salespeople. So let's go back to my original formula and we're going to lock some references just to make sure that when I copy it down, I don't lose my links to the proper place in my lookup table. To do that, I'm going to select F2 so I can edit my formula. Lookup references have $signs before the row and column depending on what I want to lock. So in this case, I need to lock the reference to the dollar amounts and I need to lock the reference to the commission rates. So I'm going to come back over here where I have started with H10. I'm going to click an F4 on my keyboard. What that does is it puts a $sign before the H and before the 10. I'm going to place my cursor in the H14 reference, again hit F4. I've locked that range now so that every time I copy this down, it's always going to look in my H10 to H14. I'm going to do the same thing with the percentages. Click F4 in the I10 to I14 ranges and lock those percentage rates. I will save my formula and now let me copy this down all the way to the bottom of my list and you will see that my percentages have been improved. My values are much more appropriate and are in line with my commission rates. So again, we reviewed the lookup formula using the lookup function. We created a lookup table where we could search through and return values. So that's this week's Excel tip of the week.